and just kind of tell you like a little bit about what we did on our 10 days. It was a learning intensive program, and it was put on by the Prince William Sound Science Center, and we did everything from, like I said, oil spill scenarios to leadership ethics and like leave no trace principles, and a lot of oceanographic science stuff. And we got to do a lot of experiments with like waves and also like mussel. We learned how you can describe, like you can know a lot from the waters by just by just watching the mussels and opening them up and everything. And I'm trying to think of everything that we did. We went glacier hiking, which was really neat, and we went kayaking, and we got to go to the RCAC, which was really it was a really good learning experience. We got to kind of learn how that one was set up, and maybe some ways that we could set up one around where we live. And we went to the Coast Guard, and we got to see a parade that was in Valdez, kind of like a cultural thing. And I don't know, we've just learned a lot, and we've got to do so many different things. And one of the main things that we did focus on was the marine debris. And there's marine debris everywhere, and it's a broad thing. What is marine debris? And it's just anything that's not natural, it's put in the ocean by us, or something that God didn't create. Grant was going to talk about the impact of marine debris.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how marine debris affects us and how it gets there. And marine debris is really, like Sarah said, anything that's not naturally occurring. And some marine debris materials are toxic and some are non-toxic. But all of them break down into smaller pieces and get passed along the food chain. And this becomes especially important with materials like plastics, because they're petroleum-based, and every plastic that's ever been created is still in existence. It never actually breaks down entirely. So that stuff gets accumulated in the food chain, and it works its way up until it gets to the higher levels with people, or with things like us. And it can cause a lot of problems for us. It can cause cancer and birth defects, and it's just not good to have in the food chain. So I think that we all need to try really hard to keep it out and to keep all of the unnatural materials out of the oceans. And Danielle was going to talk about how we could do that.
Yes. So I want to talk about, prevention. Probably, one of the most obvious ways to prevent marine debris. Everyone has heard this a million times, but it's recycling. And Alice told me that the two major things that you can recycle in Cordova are plastics and aluminum. And as Grant said before, plastic is one of the most important things that we can recycle because it never actually breaks down. It never biodegrades. It only photodegrades, which means that it never actually disappears in the environment. It just breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. And even if we can't see it, it's still there in the environment. It's still affecting, small things like plankton and algae that are basically the building blocks of the ocean. So yeah, that's important. If you can't recycle something, the best way is to properly dispose of things. And I know that Cordova is primarily a fishing community, so a lot of the waste that gets in the ocean and on offshore beaches comes from boats and things washing overboard and washing off the sides. So one of the ways we can prevent that is by just having a trash can on board, just always being aware, not letting things slide over the sides, also having a bag for recycling things like plastic and styrofoam. When we were on 17 Mile Beach, one of the major things we saw was petroleum-based styrofoam. That was probably the majority of all the things we saw. So, and I know there's a lot of that involved in fishing, so that's important too. Besides fishing, Cordova has such a close proximity to the ocean, and it rains so much that runoff is a huge issue too, because it's just so close to the ocean. So one of the easiest ways is just not throw things outside of your car. Don't throw things out the window. If you see something in the street, pick it up. Don't let it run into the ocean. And when we were on the beach, we always did beach sweeps every day whenever we left the beach. So that's another great way to just always, go back, pick up the things that you brought to the beach, as well as, if you see something that, even if you didn't drop it there, just to pick it up. And yeah, so that's pretty much the major things. And just, we all love our oceans, and it's really important to keep them safe and keep them clean.
Yeah. Speak up and do something.
Yeah, just be aware. So yeah.
That was really well done, you guys.
Thank you.
You guys really know your stuff.